G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to spend some time cleaning up this little shimpaku juniper of mine. I've tried to put it on a bit of a angle so you guys can see it pretty much level on. When you look at it, it doesn't look too bad, but when you have a good close look, you're starting to see the foliage pads are a bit too fluffy, I guess, not defined enough. Lots of foliage starting to go downwards. In here, there's quite a bit of a few dead twigs and stuff we need to remove and clean up. A lot of these pads are now just getting fluff balls at the top, at the tip, so we want to try and make it a bit more refined. So this is more, it's kind of midwinter now. It's getting this nice purpley kind of bronzy colour that it does, shimpaku, when you leave them outside in the frost and everything. So that's why that colouring isn't that deep green. It's got this browning colour. Don't be alarmed. It does that naturally in winter here in Melbourne anyway. So yeah, unfortunately we're in lockdown again in Melbourne, which really sucks. But it gives us time to work on trees and do some more work on trees, which is all good as well. So today all about getting this tree, keep progressing the tree along. I'm setting it up for now for a nice good spring summer growth of foliage. If I do the work now, I should grow into those positions of those wire that I'll put on the tree. I will start to remove, there's too much branching in here in this tree in terms of there's lots coming from one spot, lots of branches coming from one spot. Also anything that grows down, I'll get that off. Anything that grows in between crotches, I'll get that off as well. So today's pretty much refining this tree. What I really want to also do is try and bring this. See how this is now a bit of a crown, a bit of a bubble head, I call it. I don't like that, so I want to try and get this down into something like that, right down into here. Make it more compact tree. I think it'll look better than having a bobble head at the moment. So I can probably just get a guide wire, get it tight to the roots, and get that working. I think that might be better. I'm gonna have a look at it like that later. I'm gonna get this large first branch a bit more defined. It's a bit of a bush, but let's make it a bit more defined. It's got some fantastic nabari on this tree, so I'll try and bring it in a bit closer. Maybe this will work or not. But you can see the beautiful, long, nice, big roots that I've tried to tease out and work on throughout the years. Yeah, starting to look really good. That's good. Other features, yeah, nice little short shimpaku, quite a lot of age. This is a unique first branch, so I want to try and play with it and keep it. Maybe get the apex going in this direction as well. So going in this direction as well. Should be good. A lot of these branches just need to be wide out, filled out. Seems to be a bit of a gap in here. I don't know, you probably can see in the camera. Just want to figure out a way to fill that, but I think by dropping this, it fills that gap anyway, so I think it'll be okay. Right, so I'm just going to get on it, start trimming up the dead bits. Anything goes down, getting rid of wire that's cutting in, things like that. Basic cleanup. Nothing really too hard. I'm sure all of you can do that. It's very simple. But yeah, we'll get to the good bits after that. Okay, be back soon. All right, first step of the process is pretty much done. Just went through and cleaned up a lot of the foliage, cleaned up a lot of the dead bits. Nothing really difficult. There was a lot more dead bits in the lower branches than in the higher. That's usually quite common, but that's okay. That's usually because the top gets all the sun and all the young growth and strong growth, and the bottom branches are less so. I did do a bit more reduction in this lower one, emphasising the healthy growth, and tried to promote those as well. Nothing really too drastic or dramatic in there. Got a few more little bits to clean up in the top area, but with the top area, because I want to bring it down, I'm not sure which ones I'm going to clean out just yet, which branches. So I'm just gonna wait for that. Usually now what I do is I start to wire. So I'll wire this branch first, the main branch, set that in place, and then I'll go through, go around the tree until I get to the top, and then wire the top and bring it down, and then whatever I don't need I'll cut off. That's how we usually do it. Sometimes I don't, because once you've got the guide wire on, it's very hard to wire the tree. So the guy wire is a wire that pulls this down maybe into the roots. I might put a wire from there to there pulling it down. And when you do that, it's going to be very hard to wire any of these branches because that guide wire is going to be in the way. So that's one little tip if you weren't aware. Yeah, but now I'm just going to go through, clean up the wiring. Some of the wiring's been on for a while. Maybe take it off, rewire some bits. Nothing really too difficult here. It's now just getting it back into the shape I want it to be. Nice clean lines, nice clean underneath. Try and spread the foliage nice and open to let it allow all the sun, as much sun as I can get in. Yeah, if I need to reduce, I'll keep reducing, but I think that's enough for this branch, reducing foliage. Just clean up now. So I'll wire this out, excuse me, I'll wire this all out, and then I'll come back and show you the result of that, and then we'll go around the tree, and should be pretty quick to do this little tree. As you can see, it's only so big, fits in my palm, I guess, of my hand. It's quite a nice little tree. Yeah, so start with the first branch and off we go. Alright, so I'll just show you how I've wired up this first branch. Now I'm just going to try and pull it up a little bit, just to try and get the angle of the camera right so you can see the clean, trying to do different layers and clean lines throughout the tree. It's very cleaned up. Now I've just angled it so you can see, but this whole branch has been now done, fanned out, spanned, like really tried to fan out the branches, and also just tilted the tops a little bit upwards just to give you that, to point it back towards the sun. But a few layers, you know, this is the bottom layer, then the one above it, or bottom layer, then one above it. You would have seen, I've done a video already how you create these layers and branches, and how you can create those pads. So I've already done a video on that, and I'll link it back to this one anyway, just for your so you can see it again. But yeah, that's looking good. Just got to tweak it a little bit here and there. You know, some things bounce back, but we'll get them right and perfect and looking really good. As I said, now I'll work my way throughout the tree. I'll probably just do a couple of those back ones and these two, and then I'll come back and show you. And then we'll work on the top and see how we can pull that down. Because now you can definitely see a noticeable gap between this wide branch and then this part of the tree. It's quite high up. I'd really like to try and bring it down a bit more. And maybe this way a bit more as well, maybe towards the left a little bit, because the whole direction of the tree is this way. So we'll play around with it and hopefully we can achieve a good result. Alright, so I'll do a quick update. So I've tried to push the tree up a little bit so you guys can see it better. This side of the tree is not as strong growth, so I didn't wire it perfectly. I left a lot of fluffy foliage just to give it the strength. This is all wide, the ones in around the back of the wide, these ones are wide, this one's wide. Now I'm looking at the apex. Now I've tried to raise the tree so you can look at it at the right angle, the way I'm looking at it. I'm not sure you can see it properly. You can see the nice pads, but then you see it is a bit of a helmet head, I call it. So by pulling this down, I'm hoping, I'll leave that like that, I'm hoping to remove that helmet head. If I bring it right down into here, it'll look much nicer. Maybe a little bit this side. Now I've been able to secure a guy wire underneath a heavy root at the base there, which has been good, and I've got some heavy wire up here which I'll wire and fasten this to. So that's the plan. I'm gonna have to have a look at some of these branches in here, because once I compress this, a lot of those are going to get squished, so I'm not going to have to take them off. So yeah, it's just getting a little dark. I might have to come back tomorrow and do it so you can see a better view. But we're at this point, and I might leave it there, and I'll come back in the morning, and I'll show you the picture, show you how it will come together. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave off for today, and then I'll better light. It's a bit dark, you probably can't see the detail, so I'll come back in a few. Well, it'll be instant for you guys, but it'll be tomorrow morning for me. So yeah. Alright, so what I decided to do actually is thought I'd show you how, or try and show you, so I've wired this area here, the apex, and I'll just show you how I try and position things in shape, in place, so it's going to be hard without me looking at it forward. So always work with the lowest and see how far you can get. So I've got some small branches that I'm going to keep. I'm going to wire that down. Now there's one here that's dropping down and then forming this little pad in here. So I'm doing that. Put that in there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So just wiring down and pushing up a little bit in the back. So wiring down and wiring the branch down, and then the foliage just comes back up. Sometimes you'll see things that are hanging down. I always pluck the ones that are hanging down off. So remember, so that's there. This side, it's interesting. So there's one little one in here. I'm going to try and pin him into there, wiring him down into there. There's one in the back. I'm not spinning the tray around or anything like that. Usually you spin it around and wire. I'm just trying to keep the camera there so you can see. It's a matter of getting the branch down, lift the tip off. And you've just got so many small ones to work with that you just got to be very careful. So now we're coming to here. Just keep wiring down, and then you'll start to see, oh, that's all interrupting with each other. Only the ones underneath I'm plucking off. And when I'm saying plucking, I'm plucking the whole bit from the base of the branch. It's a bit congested in this area. Just have to work on it. Eventually get there. The apex is now then you just kind of form it with multiple buds, trying to create a very rounded top. But you can see how this one's now, you can see how it's spinning right up. So I prefer to come in and shorten that. Try and create a bit more around the top. Some of these guys have to be wired down. I love small trees, but my hands are so big and chunky, sometimes it's hard to work with such small trees. It's not too bad. I think this branch probably has to drop a little bit more. Not too much. They come back up. I think a couple of these just have to fill out into this area, so you can see they're kind of filling up nicely in here. It's not going to him. Sometimes you just have to play around until you form the right angles. Sometimes you've got to put more wire on. Let's have a look. That's just got to fill out there. Not much I can do just yet. But it's getting there. It's getting to the point of looking really good. Just a dead branch. I do have an issue, so you can see this little bit in here, it's kind of in the, I don't like the look of it. I'm just going to wire that towards the back. Hopefully it takes care of that. Yeah, I'm just worried about this line here. It doesn't give me a nice transition, it's a bit too wide out here. Slightly tweak it back. You can see it's not too bad. So it's still a bit of playing around in this area until you get the right form. But that's all I do. I just slowly adjust, pluck anything going underneath. If I have to wire anything, I'll just wire it. What do you think? I think it's looking pretty good. So it's come down quite a bit with that guy wire. More nice and uniform. Doesn't have that big helmet head now, it kind of all blends in a bit better. My only issue is probably this back branch at the back here. It's a bit heavy, but it's filling in this nice gap in here, so it's got to stay. But we can deal with that. But how's that? I think that's come up pretty cool. So yeah, it's hard to see sometimes. You got to stand back a little bit sometimes. Maybe look at it in the camera. Oh, it's not too bad. It looks a bit messy actually. But I think you get the idea. I'm just going to try and get a good view I'll bring the camera in around here and let's try this. A bit lower of an angle to show you the branching. Come in and show you there, see? So when you do it that way, kind of see the levels. Yeah, so the top's looks a bit messy, but and the brownness is just that copperness or the bronzing of the foliage. Well, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Nice little shimpaku cleaner over winter. Nice little tree, and we should enjoy that for the rest of the year. I'll let it fill out. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that video. I'll see you guys next time.